Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Giri Varadari Jaya Giri Varadari Yashoda Nandana Jaya Bracha Jana Ranjana Jaya Bracha Jana Ranjana Jaya Yashoda Nandana Jaya Bracha Jana Ranjana Jaya Bracha Jana Jaya Yamuna Chiravanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari Natiravanachari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Jaya Radha Madhava, Radha Madhava, Radha Madhava, Sri Radhe. Jai Jai Sisi Radha Madhava Ki Jai. Jai Shishi Phalat Lakshmi Singh Bhagavan Ki Jai. Nitai Go Premanandi Hari Hari Bo. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Okay, wir lesen aus der Srimad-Bhagavad Gita. Erstmal, how do we speak? Deutsch, Englisch? English. English. Ah, I have English. Okay. Then chapter 15, right? Verse number 1. Everybody knows what is chapter 15? How it's called? The yoga. Huh? The yoga of the Supreme Person. Okay. So you would like, I mean, it's nice, but I really, I was informed just right now, oh, you're down for class. And I didn't know, so I took a quick shower. That means you can come closer. Even. Yeah, okay. So welcome. Yeah, we're speaking from the Srimad-Bhagavad Gita. Now, I don't know you, and you maybe also don't know me. No. So what's a good name? Pep? Like pepper? Pep. Okay, Pep. Let's see if I can remember his name. Yeah, it's actually quite easy. Pepper, but when I think of pepper, I think of something else. This cute little. I mean, I'm happy that my boys are over this phase, but it stays. It's like it becomes like a samskara even for the parents, right? Yeah. But it's cute, and there's Haribol. Hi Krishna. I don't know you and you don't know me, so I just want to know who's sitting in the audience, that we can maybe you know Bhagavad Gita by heart, then I don't have to explain so much, or maybe you pretty new and then I have to do a little bit more explanation, so therefore I would like to know your good name. Salt maybe? Huh? First of all, I would like to see your face. Come a little bit in the shining sun. And if you like, you bring a cushion, or if a chair is also fine, works also for me. Just at you. And what's a good name? What? I know you. Oh. Really? Oh my goodness, now without glasses, maybe Magdalena. Okay, Magdalena. So you know something about Bhagavad Gita, what's all about? You know, good, okay. Pep, how about you? You know something what is Bhagavad Gita all about? Okay, good. So this we're gonna explore now. Krishna, not on your face. What's your good name? Oh, it's Bracho Raman. Haribo. Yeah. And then, who are you coming in? Bhakta Pravini Devidasi Prabhu. Okay, so it seems like you also know about Bhagavad Gita, what's all about. You know about Bhagavad Gita, what it's all about? I just get to know a little bit, getting cheeky with the audience. Oh, so you know. Good, sorry. I'm asking too many questions. Guys, it sucks, this guy. He has so many questions, Okay, my name actually is Ramananda Gopal Das. I'm try to serve this community together with my family, and today I have the great fortune to sitting here to speak about Srimad-Bhagavad Gita, what is in our tradition the greatest book. Something like, when you go to church, you have the standard law book, das Grundgesetz, oder? How you say in English? I say in English. You have in English the basic law manual? Huh? Nah. You have when you in Germany we have a Grundgesetz, means this is the basic rules. Huh? Constitution? Wie heißt das Grundgesetz in England? Okay, good, forgiss es. Okay, so you have the basic law book, right? And
beziehungsweise im gesamten ein einzelnes Dokument, das den Namen Das Vereinigte Königreich besitzt eine sogenannte nicht kodifizierte Verfassung, uncodified Constitution. Anstelle eines zentralen Gesetzbuches setzt sich das Verfassungsrecht aus verschiedenen Säulen zusammen.
Okay, gut. Stopp. Okay.
Bedeutende Parlamentsgesetze wie die Magna Carta 1215, die Bill of Rights 1689, der Act of Settlement
Ist ja gut.
1700.
Why you don't ask him to give the class? Huh? So, okay, you have the standard in Germany, at least you have a Grundgesetz. That means a standard law book, what is it all about? You know, that is like human rights, basically, what you have in Germany. You are free to live any kind of religion. You have, if you German citizens, you have the right to vote, which political party. There are certain human rights what are guaranteed if you're in Germany. And that's called the Grundgesetz. So if you go to church, first of all, what they're looking in is if it's according to the basic law of the country. And this is kind of Bhagavad Gita. For us, Gaudiya Vaishnavas, following a tradition where many Indian traditions based on is Bhagavad Gita. This book is spoken, actually it's a conversation between Krishna and Arjuna. Arjuna was a great chariot fighter who was supposed to fight a battle for righteousness. And Krishna was his chariot driver. In the conversation and in the whole history, what is around the Bhagavad Gita, this conversation, this is called the Mahabharata. In India, you come very close to the Mahabharata with all historical characters. It's kind of the history of India, you would say. The big Bharat myth history. Bharat is not a name for India, when India was das Großreich Indien. And this, when it was a big Reich. And so there, the center point is this Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna, who is the chariot driver of Arjuna, gives him basic instructions about everything what is needed in life, right? And this for us is therefore the most important book where we look at it first. If we want to have some further explanations of the wisdom shared in the Bhagavad Gita, then we as Gaudiya Vaishnavas, this tradition where we look at the Srimad-Bhagavatam. And this is in the court when the basic rule is applied. For example, one has not the right to kill somebody else, right? And if you do some crime, or you are they accuse you for some crime and they want to speak law, then mostly they're looking into a Fallbuch, that means a case book, where, okay, previously somebody was accused of this crime and he got this and that sentence. Sentence? Yeah, right? So, and they apply this as well, say, oh, in the judge, they come together. Previously, this crime was punished with this and that sentence, right? So means the law in action. And when we look at law in action, then we, as Gaudiya Vaishnavas, we look at the Srimad-Bhagavatam, right? And the Srimad-Bhagavatam gives basically examples where the principles of Bhagavad Gita were applied in life, basically. And now further down the road, we now in Kali Yuga, in the most kind of, they say also the Iron Age. You have the Golden Age, the Silver Age, the Copper Age, and then you have the Iron Age. It's the Kali Yuga, where all principles kind of decline. One can also say it's kind of the old age of the universe. You know, when you have a young body, then everything is full of energy, full of my boys. They're so vibrant, you know, so easy to move a small body. Everything works very well, very good, right? And then over the time you age, and this body gains on weight. Not only body weight, it's because it's not so easy to move older body, so you need more energy to move this body. It's like if you have an old car, you need more petrol because everything doesn't go so smooth anymore. So it takes more energy to move an old vehicle, right? Same with the body. And also the universe is in some sort of cycle of birth, old age, and disease, basically, and death. So now Kali Yuga, where we write in, is where all these principles getting quite low. As you can see, if you look around, honesty is almost not there anymore. Anybody try basically somehow or other to cheat you. You know, everybody try to squeeze the best out of you. Wherever you come, everybody, they just want to have your money. Although advertisement promise you something, you know, whatever they want to have the best from you, but actually they only want to get to your money. You know, any bank, whatever they promise you, their only aim is how to get on your money. So does everybody else. But I think that's nothing new. But this is a sign of this age where we are in. And the principles of Bhagavad Gita and Srimad-Bhagavatam applied in Kali Yuga is basically Chaitanya Charitamrita. This is for us one of the most prominent and recent books where we can see how to apply this knowledge in so-called modern day society, more or less, or how we apply this knowledge as Gaudiya Vaishnavas, what we try to be. Okay, so this was just a little bit some sort of introduction, and does it work somehow? Otherwise, I'm taken. Super. That's Kali Yuga. You know, you have a lamp, but if you need it, you don't. It doesn't work. So now, but if you have, this is the association of devotees. They always have some kind of, they have also some kind of remedy, right? Thank you. Hi, Krishna. Oh, they are afraid. They know when they come in, they have to tell the name. They tell me, don't go in there. Okay, now we are in chapter 15. Now, Bhagavad Gita has how many sections? Has Bhagavad Gita or chapters, huh? 18. Well, very good. Magdalena. Pep and Magdalena. And, sorry, Prabhu. Huh? Ravina. What does it mean? Okay, Pravina. So, yeah. And so this chapter starts with the line Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. Now, Shri Bhagavan means the supreme personality, Bhagavan, the supreme person. Uvacha means speak. Okay. And it goes like this. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha, and now Udva Mulan Ada Shakam Ashvadham Brahur Avyayam Chandam Siyasya Panani Yastam Veda Savedavit Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Udva mulam adasakam ashvataham prahu ayayam chandamsi yasya pranani yastam veda savedavid. Okay, somebody else want to try? Chanmasi yasya panani Sri Bhagavan uvacha Chandamsi yasya pranani yastam veda savedavid. Lady? 15.1. Some lady? Sri Bhagavan uvacha Urdvamulam adashakam Ashvadam prahu avyavyam Chandamsi yasya panani Yastam veda savedavid. Okay. So word for word translation. Sri Bhagavan uvacha. So we said this already. What was it? Who's speaking? I thought Manuel is speaking. Who's speaking? Okay. Udva mulam, with roots above. Ada, downwards. Sakam, branches. Ashwadham, a banyan tree. Brahu is said. Avyavyam, eternal. Chandamsi, the Vedic hymns. Yasya, of which. Parnani, the leaves. Ya, anyone who. Tam, that. Veda, knows. Sa, he. Vedavid, the knower of the Vedas. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, it is said that there is an imperishable banyan tree that has its roots upwards and its branches down, and whose leaves are the Vedic hymns. One who knows this tree is the knower of the Vedas. Okay, and there's the purport. After the discussion of the importance of Bhakti Yoga, one may question, what about the Vedas? It is explained in this chapter that the purpose of Vedic study is to understand Krishna. Therefore, one who is in Krishna consciousness, who is engaged in devotional service, already knows the Vedas. The entanglement of this material world is compared here to a banyan tree. For one who is engaged in fruitive activities, there is no end to the banyan tree. He wanders from one branch to another, to another, to another. The tree of this material world has no end, and for one who is attached to this tree, there is no possibility of liberation. The Vedic hymns meant for elevating oneself are called the leaves of the tree. This tree root grows upward because they begin from where Brahma is located, the topmost planet of this universe. If one can understand this indestructible tree of illusion, then one can get out of it. This process of extrication extrication should be understood. In the previous chapter, it has been explained that there are many processes by which to get out of material entanglement. And up through the 14th chapter, we have seen that devotional service to the Supreme Lord is the best way. Now, the basic principle of devotional service is detachment from material activities and attachment to transcendental service of the Lord. The process of breaking attachment to the material world is discussed in the beginning of this chapter. The root of this material existence grows upward. This means that it begins from the total material substance, from the topmost planet of the universe, Okay, you discussed whatever you have to discuss. I wait for the moment. Okay. From there, the whole universe is expanded with so many branches, representing the various planetary systems. The fruits represent the result of the living entities' activities, namely religion, economic development, sense gratification, and liberation. Now there is no ready experience in this world of a tree situated with its branches down and its roots upwards, but there is such a thing. That tree can be found beside a reservoir of water. We can see that the trees on the bank reflect upon the water with their branches down and the roots up. In other words, the tree of this material world is only a reflection of the real tree of the spiritual world. This reflection of the spiritual world is situated on desire, just as a tree's reflection is situated on water. Desire is the cause of things, being situated in this reflected material light. One who wants to get out of this material existence must know this tree through analytical study. Then he can cut off his relationship with it. This tree, being the reflection of the real tree, is an exact replica. Everything is there in this spiritual world. The impersonalists take Brahman to be the root of this material tree, and from the root, according to Shankar philosophy, comes Prakriti, Purusha, then the three gunas, then the 5 gross elements, Pancha Mahabhuta, then the 10 senses, Dasandriya, mind, etc. In this way, they divide up the whole material world into 24 elements. If Brahman is the center of all manifestations, then this material world is a manifestation of the center by 180 degrees, and the other 180 degrees constitute the spiritual world. The material world is the pervaded reflection, so the spiritual world must have the same variedness, but in reality, therefore, both Prakriti and Purusha must be there. In the spiritual world, however, Prakriti is the Supreme Lord's internal energy, and the Purusha is the Supreme Lord himself. That is explained in Bhagavad Gita 8:22. Purusha sa parapata. The difference between the spiritual and material manifestation is that the former is eternal and the latter is temporary. A reflection is temporary, for it is sometimes seen and sometimes not seen, but the origin from whence the reflection is reflected is eternal. The material reflection of the real trees has to be cut off. When it is said that a person knows the Vedas, it is assumed that he knows how to cut off attachment to this material world. If one knows the process, he actually knows the Vedas. One who is attracted by ritualistic formulas of the Vedas is attracted by the beautiful green leaves of the trees. he does not exactly know the purpose of the Vedas. The purpose of the Vedas, as disclosed by the personality of Godhead himself, is to cut down the reflected tree, and attains the real tree of the spiritual world. Wow. Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. So this was quite a purport where so many, this is so deep actually, so philosophically. Let's try to get a little bit a glimpse of it. The translation of the verse again was, the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, it is said that there is an imperishable banyan tree that has its root upwards and its branches down, and whose leaves are the Vedic hymns. One who knows this tree is the knower of the Vedas. Okay, so those who are based in India somehow or have roots in India, so many roots today, they know a banyan tree, right? And somebody who was in India knows also a banyan tree. Yes. Pep, you also know banyan tree? Good. Manuel, you saw banyan tree? Actually, the most impressive banyan tree, what I know, is in Navadvip, the birthplace actually of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. There's a banyan tree. So the thing is with a banyan tree, it grows a stem, and from the stem grows branches, and these branches, they grow down to the earth again. They again become roots. When they touch the earth, they're forming roots. And from this, there comes another branches. They go down, forming roots. And it goes up, and again, branches, and they come down and they form roots. So one tree, there's a point where you don't know where is the original stem, because it's so different. It can become, like for us, we born in Europe or whatever, it seems like a whole forest, but actually it's only one tree. One can get lost in this because one thinks so many trees, but actually they're all branches who turned into roots, right? And in Navadvip, there is a banyan tree. There's actually like a shopping center in it. There's even a Kali temple in one of this. So that means it builds like little different compartments and rooms and like you were there, you saw this? No? Where shopkeepers, they keep their shops in between this, this kind of branches, and even a temple is there inside in this banyan tree. I don't know how many shops are inside there, but India is incredible, but anyway. So like this. So the point is, it's so, they call it many-branched, that you don't know where is the origin of it. Only an expert can understand how to get to the real root of the tree, the original root, right? So now here Srila Prabhupada, he makes a comparison or analogy where he compares, because it's said here in the verse that the branches grow downwards and the roots grow upwards. So and then Prabhupada says that doesn't exist, right? Right? He said such a thing doesn't exist in our experience. Oh, did you see anywhere? No. But then he said, but actually it does exist. Who remembers what he said? Where does it exist? I know you know. Let's see if somebody else remember what he said. Huh?
Ashwatha trees.
No. He said a situation. In a reflection in what? In water, yes. Reflection in the water. There we can see actually a tree where the branches down and the roots are up, right? And if you look in this reflection, if it's still water, So you think it looks exactly the same, right? So you could take this for the real tree. But actually, if you want to climb this tree, what will happen? You get wet. Exactly. You get wet. And this is, and Prabhupada makes a very good point here. He says, it's a reflection. So the real tree, he compares with the spiritual world. And the reflection is just the illusion. So if you try to climb the illusion, you get wet because you're falling into water. So he said the real tree is in the spiritual world, but the water he compares with what? And thus I think that was very fascinating. Let's see if I find this here in the Jai Shishi Palat Lakshmi Shingadev Bhagavan Ki Jai. This reflection of the spiritual world is situated on the No, also, yeah, but he says something else, what is much deeper. Desire. It's based on desire. And this is something, it's like he compares the water with the desires. So if we try to climb this illusory tree, we don't get wet as if it's reflection in the water, we get more and more desire. It's like pouring oil into the fire and, try to extinguish the fire with it. The fire will become more. So if we, and this is our position basically, we try to climb this illusory tree because we think there is the happiness, there is the fruits. We see all of these different, fruits will come out of this tree and think, oh, I want to have this, I want to have this. But because it's not the real tree, the only point is like we diving more and more into the water, and it's getting more and more dangerous the deeper we go. The deeper we go on this ocean of desire, the more we're getting full of desire. So you wanna have a new phone or whatever. Previously you bought phones only on the the back market. Whatever, some cheaper version. You get iPhone 11 or whatever, like, wow, we have an iPhone, whatever, and then you think, yeah, but it's 11 or whatever, so, and then you try to get the next upgrade, whatever, and then you get, okay, but still it's, I don't know, 15 or whatever they are, and then finally you make it to the latest iPhone, and now you think you're happy. But then guess what? Next time or whatever, Apple brings the next iPhone. And you think, oh my goodness, my iPhone is old. And then you have to have the new. So meaning to try to satisfy your desires only creates more hankering for it. And it goes in each and every direction. If we try to climb this tree of illusion, we are ending up with more and more burning desires. And there are then mentioned here the Vedas. Now the Vedas, it's sometimes compared of a instruction manual. You buy a computer, whatever you buy, you get an instruction manual. Sometimes if it's produced in China or Japan, they try to make I don't know, ChatGPT or I don't know what is the translation program, but sometimes you get so funny translations of it or whatever, you get some in your language. So you get the instruction manual, how to use this bottom, how to use that, what you do to get this out and whatever, And so the Vedas are actually meant for this, that it makes sense out of what should we do to reach this branch on the desire tree of illusion? What branch is there? What, for what, how is this built in? It's like instruction manual. But actually what the Vedas always as a conclusion come to say, it's actually all false, it's wrong. You will not get out of this banyan tree if you just study the Veda, because they are the Vedas. They sound nice, they're nice compositions. There are people, scholars in the world, also in the Western academic world, who are reading and studying the Vedas because of its incredible complexity. Vedas are kind of, or the Sanskrit language is kind of a way to preserve knowledge. So they take a knowledge, a vast body of knowledge, and then they compress it. And then again they compress it, and they compress it, that it becomes like a very short sentence, like a sutra or mantra, And the Vedas, they are composed of many different of these sutras, of these mantras. Now, experts, they try to unlock this code and to expand these mantras again and get behind the original meaning. But actually, how the Vedas, or how it works is, you have to work with an expert who unlocked this knowledge before you, or somebody who learned it, who unlocked it before. That's called parampara. So in your disciplic sessions, they explain you how to unlock this mantra, or even easier, what is the meaning of it, right? Basically, what Prabhupada did with translating the Bhagavad Gita or Srimad-Bhagavatam, he unlocked this mantra for us, and in the same way gave a purport for it. He gave us the meaning for it. So you don't have to be an expert. But in the Western academic world, there are many experts who really try to figure out what is the meaning. Maybe there's something more, but nobody found out till now. They're getting lost in all of this kind of different philosophies and explanations and actually speculations, right? So they acknowledge the Veda, they acknowledge these leaves, what is on this banyan tree, what compared to with the Vedas, but they just admire the beautiful color of this leaves. Like they admire the beautiful language or the composery of the Vedas, whatever. But they don't see what is all behind it. And the whole conclusion of the Vedas in the end is, get out of here. Right? So, and the way how our tradition, our Gaudiya tradition, is explaining a way out of it. There are many different traditions say, okay, we have to get out of it, but how you do it? You cut off all the branches of the tree. You cut down the tree by renunciation. Just don't look at the tree anymore. There's no reflection. Get out. There's no reflection, whatever. So you try to neglect this ocean of desires. But if you still, if you neglect the desire, it doesn't mean you don't have the desire anymore. It's like sometimes you try to press a ball, like kids play with balls in water. You try to press it on the water. What will happen? You can keep it for a while. You play with your kids or with your boys. You kind of trap it between your legs and say, "Oh, the ball is gone. The ball is gone." Right? And we, "Oh my God, the ball is gone." But in one point, what happened? It just somehow it comes out, right? And the same way, if you try to suppress desires, in one point they just pop up. So what you have to do is to use these desires and give it to the person, surrender your desire or connect it with the person who is the only one where all desire come from. And that's Krishna. Why Krishna? Because he's God. Because if somebody is God, he must have everything, also all desires. And if he is the origin of all desires, if you connect your desires with his desires, then your desires, they become one with God's desires. And this is basically the path of the bhakti yogi, who says, okay, I have desires, but if I use this desire to satisfy the origin of all desires, then it goes in the right direction. For example, we all have a desire to eat. Or somebody don't like to eat? No, right? We all like to eat. And we all like to eat nice stuff. Of course, for a while you can make a diet, eat only cereal, kind of, how's it called, this oatmeal, without sugar, anything inside, only oatmeal and water, and you think, that's kind of it will detach me from having this white fluffy bread with this white cream cheese and strawberry marmalade on it, or you decide, you think what is your desire, whatever you want, right? No, only oatmeal with water, no sugar, nothing, and with the time I will lose the taste of fluffy bread with strawberry marmalade, right? And then, you walk through the street, you look like, everybody who walks around with a bread with strawberry or something tastes, you will see, you will burn in hell for eating this bread. It's so unhealthy, all kind of stuff will come out of you just to kind of convince yourself that you do the right thing, right? But if you say, okay, I have to eat even white fluffy bread with marmalade, but I try to give this over before I consume it. I give it over to the origin of everything, and I say, please, this is for you. And even if I know actually it's for me, but still I make the effort to first give it to you, Krishna. Because we as bhakti yogis, we understand God as a person, because we are a person, so God cannot be unpersonal. So he also should have personalities, otherwise I would have something what he doesn't have. So we address God as a person. We see he has personal features. And therefore we say, okay, here, although it's for me, but please have it first. Okay. And in this way it becomes prasadam. In this way, you become much more conscious of your desires. Okay, I have this desire, but somehow or other, I have to connect it with you. And in this process and this consciousness, your desires become more and more aware. They say, actually, it's only for me. Actually, maybe you don't like fluffy bread. It's like if you have a partner, you cook for him, and you cook only what you like to eat. You like to eat, you may be Italian and you like to cook only pasta and pizza, but he's maybe from Norway or Iceland and what's the stinky fish? Huh? No, the stinky fish, what? Or whatever, you like... shark, whatever, so it doesn't really fit here, but whatever, shark, okay. So, but your husband, like Hari Venu, he's from Iceland or from somewhere in the northern region, and he likes to eat shark. Really? So whatever. So at one point you think, actually, I only cook pasta and pizza, but actually, what he likes to eat. So then you think, okay, maybe I should start to cook stuff what he likes to eat. I have no idea how to cook this. What Krishna likes to eat, not shark. Rice, sabji, dal, like dali, Gujarati dali or whatever, like. So, I don't know how to cook this. Okay, then you make some research and okay, how do I really cook rice? Many people don't know even how to really cook rice. They have these plastic bags and hang it in water, and they think that's rice. But actually, there's a process how to cook rice, isn't it, Harivenu? Yeah. So you make the endeavor to learn how to cook for Krishna, right? And then you cook not what you like, you cook what Krishna likes. You make an endeavor to really get to know this person opposite you. Who are you, Krishna, actually? I want to serve you, but first of all, I should get to know you a little bit better, that I know what you really like, right? And with the time, you finally realize that you walk around and think, oh, here, there's some zucchini on the field. Well, that would be nice sabji for Krishna. You don't think pizza anymore. You think sabji. And you see some plums on the tree, like now, and think, wow, that would be nice chutney for Krishna. Right? And suddenly you find, oh, myself, I think only Krishna. Right? And this is the process how you step by step fall in love. Because there's the Indian saying, they say in Western world, you marry the person you love. But in Indian world, we love that person we marry. Right? So it's a different approach to it. And this basically is our approach as Bhakti Yogis. We're coming out of this, we wet into the desire ocean. Right? And we come out and think, okay, that's not the real thing. The only thing, what I get is wet, more desires. And then we're climbing on the shore and see, we're coming on the shore, meaning there where the spiritual world starts. When we start with spiritual life, with spiritual understanding, we're crawling on the shore. We try to get out of this wetness. Still we are wet, but we try to get dry. And the more we come into the sun of the spiritual world, the more our desires try out. Try out. Don't try out, just try out. And this is basically our process. And this is what Krishna here tried to explain Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita in this verse. Okay, Hare Krishna. So now the Lord comes out. I have to be quick because here comes half lion, half man. So, are there any questions? Or I think it was quite a big round. Okay.
Hare Krishna. So thank you for the lecture.
Quick.
Couple verses later, it's described the tree is nourished by the three modes of material nature.
Yeah.
And but we should also, it's been said, we should get on the platform of goodness, right? So to transcend it at one point. But so what's how can I understand it? That the tree is nourished by the three modes, but actually, we shouldn't nourish the tree, right? To the desires. So we should get on the transcendental platform. Yeah. But we should also have the desire to get to the mode of goodness, which is also a material mode.
Well, so you can say if the water is muddy, means there's a lot, more mud in the water is more tamagun. Okay, let's compare it like that. So which water gives a better reflection? The muddy water or the clear water? Not necessarily. Depends when it's it's clear water, but sometimes it's so clear you don't have a reflection because you can see it clear on the ground. But when there's mud in the water, then you can see this tree much more easier. Because there's a reflection ground. You don't see on the ground, you just see the surface of the muddy water. And there you see the reflection very clear, right? So in this mode, when there's so much ignorance inside, the desires are very strong. When that water is cleared out, then you hardly see the reflection because you see right through almost to the ground. There's just a tiny reflection on the surface. Try it out. If you have a clear water, you don't see so much the reflection. So when you go in Sattva Guna, you don't see so much this desire tree. Huh? It's still there. It's still there. It's still the mode of goodness. And it still can attract us and can bind us. But it's not, you can much more see, it's water. It's not the tree. There's something beyond the water, in that sense, the ground. So yeah, the deeper you are in the modes, the more difficult is to see clearly how, what is the reflection, the more solid it is. Make sense? Okay, Pep, Magdalena.
Mean like we should to have a pure intention or pure desires than good intention or good desires. That would be this transcendental level, isn't it?
Well, pure intention, pure intention would be you only want to please God or
exactly.
Krishna.
Isn't it? That's we should to exchange our desires, because as a living beings we have to have some desires.
A sign of love is, if you have a partner, a sign of love is if his desires or her desire, whatever, nowadays it's not so easy, the partner's desires or become your desires. So you say, I only want to see you happy. That's love. I want to see you happy. Doesn't matter about me. For a mother to a child, she only want to see the child happy. She doesn't care if she's happy or not. Right?
Yeah, but also dealing with the people. Just we should to have this pure intention and pure desire. Don't have any business with dealing with the people around, isn't it? Like that would be the transcendental position.
Well, if you see that every living entity, if you see that every living entity is part and parcel of the same supreme personality, meaning God lives in each and every person, then by satisfying this person, you are satisfying the Lord. Now the question is how to really satisfy a person. If somebody sitting on the street begging for money, and you give him money, the question is what he does with this money. If he buys more booze and just get more entangled in his addiction world, then you're not really serving him. You're just tracking him down, although outwardly it looks nice. Giving him money. People around say, oh, she's a nice person. But the question is, do you really help him? Or do you, it's so easy if you have kids, if you want to satisfy them, just give them chocolate, just give, sweets, whatever. But in the end, you don't nourish them. So you'd have to give them salad, you have to give them fruits and all of this stuff, what they not necessarily like. But this is actually your duty as a parent, to nourish the kid. Give him also knowledge and something where he can work with. So I don't know if I got this question right, or the answer answered your question, but no?
Well, I'm still thinking about this tree, like this desire tree.
Yeah.
Like we have to have some desires, as a living beings.
Desires are natural. They come with us. They are built in us. Yeah. The question is, you want desires to satisfy yourself, or you have the desire to satisfy somebody else. To satisfy yourself, this is called lust. To satisfy somebody else, this is called love. And to satisfy the supreme person, this is the supreme love. You know what I mean? Yes, no, maybe?
Yeah, but we have to also satisfy ourselves. Yeah?
Yeah, but if like a mother, if the mother is happy to see her kids happy, she doesn't have any desire for herself. She just wants to see her kid happy. Of course, she has to have different measurements. She cannot give too many sweets to the kid, but she only wants that the kid somehow or other has a good life, is happy, doesn't have to suffer, doesn't have to struggle. She just wants that the kid is happy, and that's her fulfillment. You know what I mean? So if your desires linked in with the supreme desire, you just want to see that person happy. You just want to see that Krishna is happy. And you feel it. You feel it in your heart if Krishna is happy. Believe me. You have this deep feeling where I think, I did exactly the right thing. You know what I mean? And this is so satisfying, it becomes addictive. Because this is the sign of love. Love is addictive. Lust as well. But lust degrades you, while love elevates you.
Yeah, this addiction is called devotional service.
Yes, this is our addiction. And therefore, devotional service is to sing for the Supreme Personality, dance in front of Him, and clap our hands. So we should do this now. And sorry that I overspoke, but please sing now. Some expert singers here, please start, do the kirtan. Thank you very much.